How's it going, everybody? So I figured today we would talk about snow days in Colorado and just how things work here. It seems really strange. They'll call snow days for the weirdest, fresh snow, but yet on days where the roads are icy and what have you, it's like, nah, we won't call it. We'll let you slide around and endanger yourself because that's okay. We're D38. We don't care. It's really strange how D38 handles snow situations, and they've had so many snow days so far, and it's crazy. When I was little, and yes, I will use the when I was little, we would literally, the times I was in public school in the U.S., and I was in Michigan for a bit. I went to Glengarry Elementary School, and I went to Loon Lake Elementary School. During that time, I can remember winter. I would walk to the bus stop, other kids would walk to the bus stop, and it wasn't that close to your house, and you would literally stand there. You had no cover. Only the rich kids had like some cover thing. Most other people, no. You just stood by the street corner where the bus is going to pick you up. In my grandmother's neighborhood, it was, you walk down the dirt road, and it was at the corner of the main road, paved road, and her dirt road, and you waited there, and other kids would show up in the neighborhood. And you know what? It would be a blizzard outside. I mean, snow, big snowflakes. It's coming down hard. You got your hat on, your gloves on, your coat on, maybe even pants, boots, and you waited. You waited, and the bus would show up when it showed up. Like, literally, you'd be waiting there, and eventually the bus showed up. You get on the bus. If the bus happened to be early, they would just sit there waiting until their time that you're supposed to be there, make sure no kids show up, and they would take off. In both schools, it was the same way. I mean, the roads would be slick. It would be a foot of snow, and you would be waiting there. They didn't call school off. They didn't do a 2-hour delay, that's for sure. I've never even heard of a 2-hour delay. I mean, that's almost a waste of time to sit around 2 hours. You take them to school. You know the kids aren't going to really be learning that day just because it's just how it is in school. If you show up at late or whatever, it always seems like you really didn't learn as well as if you started fresh in the morning and went through the day. Just how I have seen it through my eyes and my experiences growing up. It just doesn't seem like you get as good of an education on these 2-hour delay days. It seems kind of pointless, really. And the real gimmick is when they were in preschool getting a 2-hour delay, but yet they get out at noon. So there was actually a couple times where I was just like, it's not even worth my time, and we live close to the school, to take her to school. What, for an hour? Why? Like, that is pointless. Like, I have to drive there, drop her off, then I have to pick her up. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So 2-hour delays have to be, in my opinion, the most silly and stupidest thing I have ever heard of. But D38 here in Colorado loves it. So do the other districts. It's not just D38. I don't know why. I don't know why they call snow days on these days where it's barely even snowing. Now, obviously, you don't see my daughter here because yesterday was the snow day. Today, the roads were absolutely ice-covered, 18 degrees this morning, and we'll let you slide. In fact, it was slick all around here, through the neighborhood, on the main road, slick everywhere. I can imagine the people that live up the bigger hills. It wasn't safe the one day because icy under the snow, but I thought it was okay. It was fine. However, today, they could have really used that 2-hour delay, really just 30 minutes. Whatever happened to, I remember when I was a kid and those snow days were very rare, first off, and you got to school when you got to school. If it was bad weather out there, you got there when you got there. The funny part is, the schools still want the janitors to show up and do the sidewalks and do this and that. They're still risking people's lives by doing that. But it's for the kids. But yet, if it's a total snow day, the parents are running their kids up to the YMCA and to other daycare services, if you will, to drop their kids off because, well, they got to go work. Most families, both people work, right? So when you call a snow day, now you just affected a bunch of people. Now, I live in a nice area, so a lot of these mothers don't work. Or maybe they work part-time, but most of them don't work. They're full-time stay-at-home mothers, kind of like I'm a full-time stay-at-home dad, and kind of do the video thing and do some writing and this and that. That's how I'm able to do it, because I'm a stay-at-home father. But if you take most people in this world nowadays, both of them work. So calling a snow day, now just the fact, I don't even know how we would handle that. Imagine trying to tell your job, like, hey, it's another snow day, and for whatever reason, the YMCA on those days, it's first come, first serve, it's booked up. People already dropped their kids off. Now, maybe they overbook employees, but then you're saying, not only did the parents go out in the bad weather, the reason why they canceled the school, to drop their kid off at the YMCA, but employees had to come in and this and that. You're still creating all this traffic. It's not reducing traffic any by calling a 2-hour delay or snow days. And our school has YMCA after school and before school. So even on those 2-hour delays, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I believe you can still take your kid in early before the school opens. So there's somebody still at the school having to get to the school, just like the janitors had to get to the school. You probably still had some teachers come to the school. Probably all the teachers are required. I don't know what they're required, but they probably had to show up to the school. So what I'm getting at is, at what point, or this might be the Colorado thing, did people say, oh, we got to call a snow day because there's a little snow out there? Versus you go to other states, they very rarely call snow days. It's really strange. And you'll get those people arguing on the news sites anytime there's a snow day. Well, I appreciate that my kid doesn't have to go to school and walk to school because it's cold out. It's like, build a little backbone and walk to school if that's... Or how about this? If you're that conservative parent and your kid walks to school, drive them to school. Wouldn't that be a novelty? You live close enough that your kid normally walks to school, drive them to school. How about that for a change? How about taking some responsibility? Imagine these kids growing up with this way of thinking that, hey, there could be a snow day. And their first day on the job is a bunch of snow, and they're like, oh, are they going to call work off? I'm scared. What am I going to do? You're going to have to show up to work or your ass is fired. Let's just face the facts. Your ass is fired if you don't show up to work. Well, if you probably do it too much. I mean, most jobs, if here and there, hey, most people understand because they have kids or are going to have kids. But the point being, you got to understand that calling a snow day willy-nilly is just silly. We're already have to make up 2-3 days, something crazy like that. 2 or 3 days they got to make, which isn't a big deal. It's elementary school. That just means, okay, so you had 3 days at the end of the year. They're going to go 3 days more. And it's really not that big of a deal because it's elementary. Well, and even in middle school and high school, you're not doing anything that last week of school that is revolutionary that you're going to be learning from anyways. The last few weeks of school in general are typically a joke. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. It's a joke. So it's really not that big of a deal. But at the same time, they'll make it a big deal. And by them, I mean the school district. Oh, how are we going to add these days? What are we going to do? Well, you know what? Another weird thing about Colorado is they have all these teacher workshop days during the week. Now, my wife's mother is a teacher, has been a teacher, always been a teacher. She does college now, but she was in the public school system in Michigan. And she's like, well, my mother had to do the continuing education on her own time. You know, they typically, I would assume, did that during summertime, right? Because teachers are getting paid full time and they're getting the summer off. So hence, a teacher can take another job, make extra money. So the argument of, well, the teacher only makes $50,000 a year. Well, yeah, they have the summer off, so they can make another $10,000 by working a different job in the summer. They can do that. So saying they don't actually make a lot of money is kind of crazy, but yes, I get the point. There's poor schools and teachers do supply, because they're nice people, a lot out of their own pocket to buy supplies and to give the kid that doesn't have a pencil, and they do a lot out of their own generosity. And because unfortunately the school districts don't, and they should, and I agree with that, they should. They're getting tax money. They should be providing stuff because I'm paying property tax, so they should. But to get back on the snow days, it's just bonkers out here in Colorado. So if you're moving to Colorado, expect on the Front Range, they're going to be like, hey, it's lightly snowing. It's a snow day. And the weird thing is, it could be snowing a lot. The news could be like, hey, man, don't go out there. And they'll say, come on into school this morning. Road's icy. They're like, don't go out. And the school, nope, no notice. Not even a delay notice. Now, I don't know why 2 hours is the delay. You might say, well, the bus times, but that doesn't make sense because if it's delayed 2 hours for all the schools, then they're starting the... So it could be delayed an hour. Or how about just do like old time and you get to school, you get to school. If your bus, because they have to drive slower, is taking a little longer to get you to school, that's okay. Us that live closer to school can get our kids to school, then that's okay. And it's better to have, I guess, some education during that time than no education. And then it wouldn't be as big of a deal to make up these days. But, I think it also falls upon Colorado, CDOT, how they handle plowing. They're very willy-nilly about plowing. Now, back in Michigan is dumping snow. Just dumping snow, let's say. They're out there plowing nonstop. The roads are actually pretty good. It's like, does this county only own like 1 or 2 plows? Because that's what it feels like. Maybe they don't want to spend the money on the personnel. Maybe they don't have the equipment. I really don't know. No news organization has ever talked about, like, why is it that Colorado, at least on the Front Range, is pretty poor at plowing roads and clearing roads and getting that done. Now, for like my neighborhood, Tri-View handles, they're the water company. They handle the side streets, the plowing. I don't know, because they're our only source. It must be somehow a sweetheart deal that they have to, in their contract, take care of the side roads. They used to be really good at it. They're really bad too, but not much I can do there because it's not on the county level or town level. It's Tri-View is the water company, and they handle the plowing, the parks, maintenance in the parks. So yeah, if you're moving to this area, Monument, that's who does all that stuff. And they used to be really good and plowing and come through a lot. You're lucky if they come through, even on deep days. And they're not part of the county, so they could be out there doing the neighborhoods. I would assume they have enough people to handle all the neighborhoods and the new neighborhoods going in. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're also short-handed. Maybe they don't want to spend the money on that. I don't know how a water company is involved with doing park maintenance, cutting the grass, sidewalk maintenance, watering of the grass, and plowing. I don't know why you as a business, if I'm a water company, why I would want to do all these other things. And how did they get talked into having a contract to do all these other things? I mean, it's not like you can just pick a water company. Either way, I mean, what? If they go out of business, who steps in? They are the water company for this area. It makes no sense to me. Maybe you can explain it down below in a comment why this is here, if you live here, if you've lived here for your whole life. Is the plowing really bad? Why don't they salt or put something on the roads? You're lucky if they put like any gravel on the roads. They do now spray a chemical. They call it a pre-treatment. It's their new thing. They pre-treat the roads if it's supposedly going to be bad. I don't think it really helped when they've done that in the past. You could see the lines on the road, and then it would snow. And I think all it did was melt the first little bit, and then the rest of it just froze on top. So it still didn't really do anything. Anyways, that's my rant about living on the Front Range. It's not like that up in the mountains. The kids are going to still have to go to school. They don't pull this stuff of, oh my God, it's snowing. See, it's just the Front Range. Maybe it's the California mentality because they're not used to the snow. Oh my God, it's snowing. Oh, we should call it. Oh my, it's cold. Instead of putting clothes on, you're afraid of have your kid walk to school. And if you're afraid to have your kid walk to school, why don't you just drive them? Which is funny because so many people do drive them. We don't have bus service. We're too close to the school. So nicer weather, we walk. This type of colder weather, I drive her. It's just how it's handled, you know? And they try to get us to use buses, by the way, because they want you to pay, because everything costs money now. It's not part of your taxes. That's why a lot of people don't use the bus either, because it costs money. So for older people not understanding why younger people drive their kids, it's because they make them pay. Well, I can drive my kid and not pay. And we're close, so either way in a traditional setting, you're a walker, unless you're getting a ride. Anyways, that's enough of this rant. I just couldn't take it anymore that this is how it is here. Figure I'd give anyone a heads up that lives here. You can leave a comment down below if you understand this process more or you want to debate it or what have you. Maybe I'll make a video after I get some comments on this is why it is, because I see them on the news sites, so that would be interesting. And I could read your comment and just tell you what I think of that. Never had a problem as a kid. Stood in blizzards. Never had to walk to school, but had to stand out there in the cold, and school was rarely canceled. Oh well, you get there when you get there. Anyways, take care. Have a good one. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And have a good day.